People didn't know how's they doing. So as you know, schools be going back sometime in September. So just to say to people, I'm probably not likely to be there for long. I'm only going to go probably a day because it's too much hassle. I'm saying this straight to the state and to Noah Fay and to the to Minister for Education Noah Fay. That you asked a lot. The government have asked a lot of young people. And people might say everybody in this country has been asked a lot of to give up their businesses, to give up everything, to close down everything they could. So yeah, a lot was asked of everybody, and again, the young people that you asked them to give up meeting their friends, give up socializing and everything. And that was difficult. That's hard. That's hard on young people. For me, it's easy because I spent all my young life on my own. I'm used to being on my own. And I'm used to not socializing. So yeah, it's difficult, and then you ask in schools to make them wear face masks in classrooms and making them having breathing breaks. I never heard such crack in my life. I never heard any country bring up that crack in my life. Breathing breaks. The stress and anxiety levels in this country from young people, the amount of suicides that happen a year from young people in this country because of bullying and other things. And this is only going to make it skyrocket. And I mean, this is only going to end in a disaster. For me, I suffer with anxiety. I suffer with anxiety. I have dyslexia and autism. And for me going into the school, you have a lot of problems. Nobody's going to learn anything. That's just putting it straight. Nobody's going to learn anything. The schools will be too busy worrying about Muddy Colour and everybody because they'll be too worried about having a lawsuit. Because if somebody caught COVID-19, they probably could claim off the state. They probably could sue the state. Which, to be honest with you, doesn't sound like a bad idea. But yeah, just saying it straight, this is going to make suicide rates go up in young people and everything, because people be being bullied and everything. As soon as anybody coughs or anything, anybody has anything kind of wrong with them in school, there'll be rumours going around, there'll be rumours circulating, there'll be rumours spread, and it's going to cause more upset and cause more anxiety. And we need to not have these strict regulations in schools because it's just too much hassle. It's too much stress in young people because the young minds have too much stress nowadays with social media, with things like that. And putting this additional stress on them it's not on. It's not on. Then trying to push the sex education, whatever bullshit you want to bring in. Let's just be honest here. It's not helping. It's not helping anybody. So yeah. So I just say to parents, if you can, make your school send the homework home to your children or send the work home to your children. I wouldn't bring your children into any school. As you've seen with the meat factories and with the nursing homes, the state said they could deal with it, and that ended pretty well for them, didn't it? Same when there was an outbreak in the Crash in Dublin, and OT never covered it. But yeah, it's same with if there's an outbreak in any school across Ireland. OT, you just slide it under the carpet, say nothing about it. Me whole doesn't want anything in the news about it. Me whole doesn't want anything in the news about it. But yeah, just saying to people, young people have a lot of stress at the moment. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's been difficult on everybody. It's taken a huge stress on people's mental health. And particularly young people, as I was saying. And we have to try and cope with it. We have to try and deal with it. But, having the additional stress of making them wear a mask in school, making sure them, because there'll be so much worrying around young people about catching, COVID-19. And people be worried about it. People be worried about it. Like a school in Dublin school, be a huge man. There's not enough teachers. The state's saying there's magical money, there's magical teachers. But there's no teachers in the country. And Noah Fay won't admit that. There's no teachers in the country. Because they're all in other countries and they're all getting better pay and better conditions than ever in this sorry country. That's one thing for sure. But yeah, there's nothing being said. They're not helping young people. They're more or less causing more anxiety, more stress and everything. It's just typical government and it's typical Department of Education. Joe McHugh's done a fucking miserable job in the Department of Education, making people pay for SNAs. Like, he should be probably still there, and he'd probably make even a bigger mess, because he made a bigger mess with the leaving cert and the junior cert, couldn't make up his mind. Couldn't make up anything. He was just refusing to do anything. He just refused. He was just dragging it down the road as much as he could, for the sake of dragging it down the road and the sake of just annoying young people. And he won't address it. Then he won't say, "Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry to young people for the stress of what you through." Never fucking bothered. He just fucking picked up his money and left. That's all the same with everything in the Department of Education. Anyway, that's enough given out. But yeah, I'm sure people get what I'm saying. I could go on and explain more. But it's, young people nowadays, this country, more than any other country maybe in Europe, is suffering heavily with anxiety and depression. And it's young people. And we meet too, it's going to skyrocket. Like, let's be honest, it will skyrocket. By December, we'll be skyrocketed so high that we probably nearly the most depressed young people in the world. And I'm not joking, because Ireland is pretty bad with it. Ireland's pretty bad, and the state won't really help people with anxiety and depression. They never bothered to do anything. They probably will not bother now. They're too busy worrying about doing this, that, but they won't worry about this. But yeah, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.